Hi, everybody. Welcome back. 1-866-408-7665. We're going to have a few moments now with Congressman Steve Chabot of Ohio. He's chairman of the House Small Business Committee, and now, as is his tax day today, he's also a foreign affairs judiciary. He's got his hands full. But as tax day today, you wrote a column for FoxNews.com. We wanted you to expand on it, Congressman. And you really talk about something that's so valuable, and that is small business. With Obamacare, to all the regulations that we're seeing now, there's a sense in this country that small business people should just go jump in a lake and quit.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's right, Brian. And 7 out of every 10 new jobs created in the American economy are created by small business folks. And so for the government to overregulate, to overtax them, the complexity of the tax code, it seems to do everything it can to make their job more difficult. And we need a tax code working for small businesses rather than working against them. In my view, and we actually had a press conference last week, and the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Bob Goodlatte, introduced it, and I'm a co-sponsor along with him. It would sunset the tax code, require us to replace it, and that's what we need. I would like to see this presidential election year be one where both sides, both the Republicans and the Democrats, would debate, how we should get rid of the mess that we have right now and simplify it and make it work for us rather than against us for the first time in a long time.
Do you think do you think Democrats are listening to you?
No. I'd like to say they are, but I probably shouldn't just flat out say no, but I don't think that many of them are. I'm certainly not particularly enthused by what I've heard out of the likes of Bernie Sanders, for example. I mean, it's been just awful. I mean, business is the problem, according to them. They're the boogeyman in this country, and yet that's the people who employ us. But they seem to hate business. And Hillary, I think, has been pulled to the left. I don't think she is naturally there, but she's sure been pulled there. And I'm afraid, were she the next president, that's the way she would govern too. It's from basically the point of view of businesses are in there only for themselves. They don't care about the American people. Well, they are the American people. The small business folks, especially, they're the backbone of the American economy. They're right. What makes this country work, and yet they're targeted. And for big companies, oftentimes they can hire a few more attorneys or a few more accountants to take care of all these new regulations and things that come out of Washington. But the little folks, the little guys, the small business people, the generators of jobs in this economy can't just put on another employee or a couple more employees to figure out the paperwork and to figure out their taxes. It literally drive them out of business. So we got to do something before it's too late.
And that's what you write. You say your plan to get government off the backs of our 28 million small businesses. It's on FoxNews.com, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right, Brian.
So, Congressman, I want to move on and talk about the guy who's governor of your state, Governor Kasich. Do you support his decision to stay in?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got every right to stay in. We had, 17 candidates. We're down to 3. And I certainly understand, why he's in it. I think he, although he hasn't won a lot of states yet, I think he has the idea that he'll have a strong enough base that either he's in a negotiating position with others, or maybe if the party doesn't get around either Donald Trump or Ted Cruz, maybe we turn to him. I don't know what's in his mind. I haven't personally talked to him about it. But I've not endorsed any of the candidates personally. I'm going to support whoever gets the nomination, and I do tend to think it ought to be the person that either obviously has the 1,237 votes necessary,
or gets closest,
or somebody close. Yeah, I tend to think that. If we don't, I think we're going to have a rebellion on our hands. And even though Bernie Sanders likes to talk about, he's all for a revolution, I think that's the kind of revolution we don't necessarily need.
Yeah, you think so? You mean the revolution that maybe the Russians would support?
Yeah,
it's unbelievable that in this country, he's not even a Democrat.
It is. It's absolutely incredible, and the support that he's gotten within that party, and how many people actually are fine with considering themselves socialists, or that we ought to have a socialist form of government. I mean, all they have to look at is how historically, how's that work for people? Not very well. And how has capitalism and democracy and private initiative and personal responsibility, how's that work? It works a lot better when you actually work hard and you get to keep most of the results of that hard work for yourself and for your family. That works a whole lot better for a society than let the government take away and then redistribute that wealth It just doesn't work.
Congressman Chabot, real quick, this whole rush of this bipartisan bill coming to this House to approve that will allow these 9/11 families to sue the Saudi government or any sovereign country. They stopped in the House in December 2015. Will you support it?
We're looking at it now, and I am on the Foreign Affairs Committee, and I've actually been the chairman of the Middle East Committee in the past. My concern about it is I'm concerned. The Saudis are clearly a very important part of our national security in the region, and there is a whole new there's a whole new generation of Saudi leaders that I think are going to be assuming much more prominent.
And whether to dig in here or not, it's a big decision.
Yeah, it really is, but I certainly am sympathetic.
Thanks, Congressman.